Tech Talk Podcast, Season 2, Episode 2, recorded Wednesday, 13th of January, 2021. My name is Simeon.
Hey, it's Ben.
And pretty big at the moment. CES is in full force.
Yeah, CES is kicked off for another year.
Few days in. Yeah, online, which is a bit bizarre. There hasn't been a lot out yet. It's still sort of day 2 at the moment as of recording this.
Yeah, I'd say day 2, maybe day 3 max.
Yeah. So we'll do possibly a full episode of sort of the biggest tech coming out from CES, but just right off the cusp, there's been a new phone out by LG, or announced by LG, called the LG Rollable. And this is their attempt at the larger form factor, smaller device phone. So it's basically competing with the Samsung Galaxy Fold, with the new form factor concepts coming in. So it's essentially a normal size phone that then one side slides out on these little arms. And then the screen rolls round from inside the device and slides out across the whole screen. So you get a bigger form factor without the fold, essentially.
Is that motorized, or is it like a pull?
I believe it's motorized. That's how it looks in the ads.
How do you feel about motorized devices? Is it something you would go for, or you're a bit wary of the kind of mechanics of them, the longevity?
So it's a So I was thinking about this a lot when the motorized cameras came in and become popular. Look, I think it's another part to break, but when they do the testing in the lab, I get it's lab conditions, but they're rated for like 200 opens a day or something like that. Like, across 5 years or something is what they're rated for. Sure, you're going to have ones that do 3 and it breaks. Sure, you're going to have ones that can do 5,000 a day for 30 years, I get it, but like, I also think that I would presume that the insurance kind of covers it, sort of. Like, it is a problem with the company's tech. It's not like a battery that is going to degrade over time.
Yeah, as long as, like their warranties and stuff kind of take it in,
for at least a year, maybe 2 years.
Yeah, if it's anything within their kind of testing parameters, then your warranty should cover that.
Yeah, like I understand if you drop it in a puddle, the phone's not waterproof. Stuff like that. But I would say with just daily use, I would hope that it's covered in their insurance stuff, and you can get either a replacement or money back or whatever. Again, it's early adopters. Those are the people who can afford them. Those are the people who want them. I don't think I'll be getting a LG Rollable, but it'll be cool to see where they're going. It kind of makes sense. So last year, they announced a Rollable TV that is coming out this year.
Oh, yeah,
And so, again, with that, it's a small box, little box on your cabinet, and then the TV rolls out of the top of it.
Yeah, right.
And ends up being a 65-inch TV sort of thing. Again, the TV, I guess it's just showing off the tech. It was at that scale at that point. Quite cool. I'm sure there are definitely some people's setups that absolutely would look amazing in. Sliding down from the roof, popping up from inside your
very clean
unit. Absolutely very clean, but I also think there's a lot of people who are like, I don't mind my TV when it's off, just a black screen on the wall.
Displaying, yep. Rich people problems.
Yeah, exactly. Along with that, they also can have some new features with that rolling of the TV, so you can get it to go a quarter of the way up, and then it shows a banner of the weather in the morning and things like this.
That one.
There's some cool stuff around that, but again, the price range for those are a little bit out of my reach.
Yeah.
It's similar to the LG really thin, flat wallpaper TV.
Yeah.
They come in at $7-8 grand sort of thing. 8K TV, it's early adopter style tech.
It's going to hit industry before it hits
consumer.
consumers.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure you'll see it in the windows of places. I'm sure you'll see in offices of tech companies and non-tech companies alike. But I will be very surprised if I see both a rollable TV and a rollable phone in people's hands this year in the wild.
Oh yeah,
it's just a bit too far off. The Samsung, hopefully, like we were talking last week, if you haven't heard about the Samsung Fold, check out our episodes from last year, and then we discussed it last week as well on the podcast. It's possibly coming down in price this year, not 100% sure, but I think this LG Rollable will be equivalent of the, first gen, second gen foldable Samsungs in price.
Yeah,
it's early tech, it's new tech for them. A lot of R&D going into it. Costs a lot of money. I don't know. I love the new form factor. I love that these companies are taking this on, even if people aren't buying it. I think the tech is really cool, and I think this is sort of shaking up the game of those form factors. And I think a lot of people have seen the Fold, and a lot of YouTubers said that the crease is a big problem, and you can really feel it. And so if this gets rid of the crease, it's still plastic, but yeah.
Yeah, I think the motorized bit is definitely gonna have to prove its worth.
Mm-hmm. Is the scariest,
because I can see a lot of people like a Fold is a little bit different, because you go back to when phones kind of first took off, and most of them were foldable.
Yeah.
Obviously not the displays, but the hinge was. Whereas, a motorized device is something a little bit different. I think they've got some reputation to build before, people start really trusting them.
Look, I mean, LG has been making phones a long time, so unlike a sort of new company coming in that you're like, oh, well, are they going to be able to do the chips and the software and the thing and the yada yada? They're only really tackling the motor scroll thing, so they know the chips to put in it, they know the cameras. Look, they know the port to put in it, they know the DACs and amps to put them in, things like this. Although, unfortunately, this one does not come with a headphone jack, not like some of their other LG phones. I'm
gonna love to see what the internals are like.
Absolutely.
When some YouTubers finally get their hands on them.
I mean, that's the other thing, is because when you have a Fold, you can put internals on both sides, but with a scroll, you can't. That's it. Yeah, that's a good point. But you don't have to worry about running a cable through the hinge stuff. So, look, it'll be interesting when iFixit takes it apart and sees all that stuff. But so that's one of the big announcements. Has there been a few others from CES this year, Ben?
Yeah, there's been a few. Might have caught your eye. I think it was maybe the first day Samsung released. I don't think they're consumer facing yet, but they released a few kind of robot assistants. Mm-hmm. One of them being a butler. That one was very much in the prototype stage, so it could help you unpack the dishwasher, fold clothes, clean up around the house. And then I had another one, had a vacuum, which I believe is actually going to be available to consumers this year.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty cool. They come with all the latest gadgets, LiDAR, radar, AI intelligence.
Yeah.
Kind of just
like we said before with CES, it's an opportunity for companies to show off their latest and greatest innovations.
I think it just raises a bit of a question of, is that something I would want in my house? Like, of course everyone wants someone to do their laundry and stack the dishwasher and make coffee for them when they're away, but it's a different thing to have a camera and something that's able to record you 24/7 and
and reporting back to Samsung servers. It's a good point. I mean, look, I think it depends on how they market it and integrate it, into and the benefits, like you say, it brings to you. I'm sure, like your phone. Back in the day, you never would have wanted to put this much information on Facebook, yet now it's totally acceptable to.
Yeah.
So, if someone can make it, someone else can sell it. So,
that's it.
That very interesting though, some robots. In the graphics world, Nvidia has announced their laptop line of 30 series. So for all those people who can't get a hold of the desktop grade chips. There's some laptops coming out.
That's quite a delay. It's been like the 30 series has been out in the wild for a while now.
It is, but they've only just been rocking up people's houses.
Yeah, that's a good
point.
point.
The announcer's been out, but the actual... And so, I don't know how long the laptops are going to take to get to people's houses, but there's another whole opportunity to get a 30 series, I suppose. Interestingly, the 3090, the top-end laptop chip, is actually shipping with 16 gigabytes of graphics RAM.
That's a lot.
Which is more than the desktop chip. So the desktop chip only has 10.
Oh.
Not entirely sure. I don't know if it's to balance out because it's not actually as powerful because it can't draw as much power from the laptop. I would presume. But yeah, interesting that they have sort of changed, not the architecture, but the amount of RAM it gets, which...
Yeah.
Maybe to balance it out so it is as fast as the desktop chip without drawing much power.
Yeah, like I understand because obviously your laptop versions are going to be thermally throttled quite a bit. But if I was a consumer spending thousands of dollars on what should be quite a top tier card, I'd expect that, this is kind of the edge of technology and they couldn't fit a single gig left on that card. And then to have them come out and go, oh, we're going to add an extra 6 gigabytes.
I guess that's the thing, though, is that, like you say, it's been a while, so who knows, the R&D could have caught up. But
yeah, that's a good point, yeah.
Look, I think they probably always could. It's, you got to save something, because otherwise why would people buy the next generation?
Well, yeah.
Sort of thing. You can't... Well, typically, companies don't put all of their cutting-edge tech into the product. They sort of pick and choose what goes in this year and what goes in next year. But yeah, I'm not sure how much they're asking, what their prices are, but I would presume it's less than the desktop counterparts.
You'd think so.
I would have thought so. I also would have thought like raw performance is less as well, just because of that thermal envelope.
Yeah.
And yeah, just the amount of, power a laptop has compared to a desktop, I suppose.
Yeah.
Power supplies and stuff inside them. AMD, they announced some things as well.
Yeah, they announced a new top tier desktop processor.
Yeah.
It's meant to be the most powerful one in the industry, so it'd be good to get some testing out of that.
Yep, absolutely.
See how that one goes, and I'm sure it will cost a very pretty penny.
Absolutely, and then, Intel will come along with theirs, and Apple will come along with theirs, and the race continues.
The race will continue.
Exciting, though. It's nice to see those breaking headlines of fastest chip instead of going backwards generation to generation. But
what about our own CES, Simeon? What projects have we got in the line?
Yeah, we've got a few hopefully this year. 2 electric vehicles are on the horizon, possibly for us this year.
Possibly 3.
Possibly 3.
Possibly 3 if you include skateboards.
True. Yep. Well, there you go. There's a good place to start. So electric skateboards. In Canberra, it's flattish getting from our house to work.
Yeah.
So possibly electric skateboards for getting to work and getting around town.
Yeah.
Next, I want to embark on an electric car project.
You're a bold man.
Look, partly environmental, absolutely. Partly, I don't want to pay for fuel, absolutely, and I don't want to really replace clutches and things like that. I understand you got other parts you do have to replace in electric cars, but there's just so much less going on. And also I just want to learn how to do it. I'm not gonna build my own batteries from scratch. I'm not going to particularly build the boards to run them. I'm gonna buy off the shelf parts.
Yeah.
But assembling it and thinking through how it all goes together and how much distance I need for my application.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at some utes, Ford Rangers, Hiluxes, somewhere in that range, utility vehicles, mainly because of the utility of them. And then also once you add no engine and you have a front trunk, that opens so much more possibilities for storage.
Yeah.
Locked storage and a tray, a car and a trailer towing essentially is. So yeah, looking around that, and then we need to tow something with that car.
That is a very good point.
So, what are you towing, Benny?
Well, we were kind of discussing a boat, but a boat's not quite as fun. We're not really into fishing. So, electric jet ski. If anyone knows anyone selling a jet ski with a bung motor.
Yeah, with a blown engine. And that's a good point, actually, as well, with the car. If anyone has any ideas or has had a go at it or has any advice on places to check out, would love to hear for all electric projects.
So, yeah, electric jet ski, they usually run about 500 kilos. Ours will probably be about 250.
Yeah, we're hoping similar power, less batteries, less like sort of batteries to petrol tank equivalent, less sort of things. We can go similar distance but with less charge, technically. Yeah, we're looking into it. It's a lot of complicated research and a lot of trying to work out what the equivalent petrol motor is to electric engine and things like this.
Electric motors are complicated, weird things.
Yeah.
To an extent. Look, this is what my research has told me.
Absolutely they are. I think the biggest of all is that just because it's bigger doesn't mean it's more powerful, and that kind of doesn't make sense. It is to a degree, but then you have like small motors that are really high, wattage, but then low torque, and then high torque, but they only spin at 3 RPM because they're for lifting on a crane, and then you're like, and so you got it, and then you start going, okay, well this motor's too fast, we'll use a gearbox, and it is all mechanical things, but it has this element of just complex to it that is good fun. So if anyone has any advice or would like to see updates on that, we might we'll post on the YouTube channel some updates, possibly start on Instagram for tech type podcast projects.
Yeah.
And if anyone would like to keep up to date with those, they'll be out there. But yeah, we're also looking at smart homing. Google smart homing.
Yeah, so we've just started. We've kind of gone into the initial steps. We've got a few Google Homes around the house now. We've got some smart bulbs that do the good old RGB. You can program them for when they turn on and off. But yeah, we're looking at expanding, so we're going to do all the normal stuff like security stuff, front door. What else are we going to do?
Front door locks and bell and doorbell with possible video cameras and Google screens. I mean, the other one is TV, so when someone calls, it pops their face up on the TV or whatever. Possibly blinds and shed stuff, so, if someone calls, you can see it in the shed. And then, mainly also just speakers around the place for different things. Also, probably all the lights.
Yeah, most
more than just like, your desk lamp and stuff like that. It'll actually be all the downlights in the house and things like this. So that'll be quite exciting. But yeah, again, we'll keep you up to date on that and post some photos here and there for smart homing. But it's a big year 2021 for us. So we should have a few projects on the go. But yeah, we'll keep everyone up to date on those.
Yeah, keep a look out. Some good stuff.
Yeah, keep a look out on our channels. And we'll keep posting on Facebook some interesting things, so keep an eye on there. If it doesn't quite sneak into the podcast, we'll post on there and some things around that. But check us out on our channels, and please get in contact if anyone has any ideas for anything we've talked about today, or ideas for episodes. Would love to hear what you guys want to hear about, really. But yeah, give us a message in the channel, and check out the show notes for CES that's going at the moment, and then we'll put out probably next week's episode will be a wrap up of CES and all the coolest things that we saw.
Yeah, what's CES? About a week, 2 weeks?
Yeah, week and a half, I think, normally.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know, it might be different because online they might extend it.
Yeah.
So possibly the week after, but when CES is over, we'll put out a full episode of the coolest tech and our opinions on it.
Tech.
Should be some really good tech this year. I think there's definitely some companies that held back last year, releasing things throughout the year that will pop up in CES. But yeah, we'll keep you up to date. But Yeah, alright, well, good to talk to you today, Ben, and
likewise.
catch you next week.
Catch you next week.
Alright, see you later, guys.
Yeah.